Hi, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm looking in the box of the Focke-Wulf 189 in 1/72 scale from Airfix. The kit I have today is from the first release in 1967. It's been reissued on several occasions from 1973 to 2009 when it was also given a new decal sheet. All along, the plastic parts were moulded in the same original tools. If you enjoy the show, please do let YouTube know by giving it the imperial thumbs up, by subscribing to the channel, and by hitting the notification bell. All of these are free and a great way to show your support. So let's start with a look at the box the kit came in all those years ago. So here is the box art for the Focke-Wulf 189. That looks very much like Roy Cross to me. The sort of dynamism, the accuracy, the sort of dynamics of the flying look much more on target, if you will excuse the expression, from this. Very nice box art. Focke-Wulf 189 Airfix 72nd scale, and interestingly here it was originally 4 shillings and threepence from County Sports Shop. That's the old pre-decimal currencies. For those of you so young you'll never remember things like that. 4 shillings and threepence is about 21.5 pence in today's money. On the other side here we have the fact it's a 1/72 scale kit and it's series 2. There's a colour call out here, paint's not included, and there are some pictures of other kits that you can have, like the Harrier and the Bronco here, and around here the Swordfish, not Swordfish, and the Mighty Hunter as well. So a lovely sort of retro, proper sort of feel-good Airfixy old box from the late 60s. Let's see what you get inside. So what did we get for the princely sum of 4 shillings and threepence? Yeah, people will laugh at that. It's, 4 shillings and threepence. That was very nearly 2 weeks of lunch money for me at school. It was 2 and 6, so 5 shillings every 2 weeks. So 4 shillings and threepence was quite a lot of money in those days. Inside we have a very old looking decal sheet. We have an instruction sheet as well. There's normally, oh there is. Normally I was going to say there's normally a complaints form. Put your address in there and then what the problem is with the part and all that, and they'd replace it for you, and an advert for all the different things that are available on the back, and then lots of plastic bits and pieces, some on the frames, some bits loose, but we'll have a closer look at all these in a bit more detail. Now the large parts in the boxes are the wings, top and bottom, and the tail booms, left and right for each of the 2 sides of the tail booms. The other frames in the box, and I've put them out because a lot of the parts aren't actually connected to the frames where they belong anymore. Anyway, but the frames that are included here are the central fuselage, the engine nacelles, the fuselage bed, the bottom of the fuselage, the tail, the open gear doors, open gear bays I should say, propellers, these, I don't know what those parts are, can't remember, wheels, tail wheel, guns, undercarriage, main undercarriage parts, 3 crew figures, seats, and other little bits and pieces of the control column, tail wheel, things like that. Then there are the clear parts. On here there's the extensive amount of glazing. This was an observation aircraft after all, so the front, the top, the dorsal area and the tail cone, all the glass of that, and some glass covers for ID lights as well. And of course, being early Airfix, there is a display stand as well should you wish to use it. So if we look at the plastic more closely, it's not bad. It's squishy scratchy here, but that might be on purpose. I don't know whether it is or not. It looks a bit artificial to be accidental, if you know what I mean. It looks too organized. the scratch marks. Maybe they're supposed to look sort of dulled down. Maybe they're fabric covered controls and this is a metal wing. The wings, everything's raised of course because this is old technology, but it's okay, it looks fine. This is the underside of the wing, so there's a hole for an ID light. You see, oh, that's a hole there, cool, what's that all about? Well, it's a hole if you want to put the bomb racks on. Ideally it would be that complete there in case you didn't want to put the bomb racks off, but yeah, that's going to take 2 seconds to fill that, or put the bomb racks on even if they're empty. They're, you know, it's a bit sort of pulled remorselessly from the frame when they print them. So I always remember there's quite a lot of damage sometimes on these leading edge parts where they'd ripped them or nipped them off the frame without any due care as to what people might have to actually do with them later. But these seem fine enough. Plastic moulding's good. It's, you know, of its age, but it works. The plastic feels quite strong, not at all soft, and not too brittle either, which is quite nice. I love the way they used to put the serial numbers on the inside as well. But yeah, the plastic up close doesn't look too bad at all, really. Then close up, the pilot figures actually look really good. Apart from that huge sinkhole in the man's belly button. But the actual moulding of the pilot figure there is really nice. Why can't they do that now? This was almost 60 years ago. Okay, this figure here isn't as good. It's a bit chunkier, a bit bigger, a bit out of scale compared to the other two, but still very nicely moulded, nicely designed. And the small parts like the guns, for the time, these are very good little moulds. I think a lot of these panels and doors and things would be a lot thinner now. These would be a lot more refined, things like the control con, but then, you know, the rudder pedals are massively out of scale. But, you know, A, not going to see them anyway, and B, does it really matter for something this old? There's quite a lot of flash around the wheels here, so they're going to need to be cleaned properly. But, you know, it's sharp enough, especially considering the age. It is sharp. The thing we normally worry about most with very old kits is the quality of the transparent parts, and these are fine. The plastic's okay. There's a bit of yellowing in the plastic. The biggest thing is the amount of flash around some of these parts. That the flash is quite chunky and it's in difficult places, so this is going to take a lot of very gentle cleanup and a lot of dry fitting to make sure they all go together. You know, you no real guarantee these are going to actually sit properly anyway. Let's have a look at these. Yeah, they look fine. The frames are relatively chunky, but that's handy because I don't have a paint mask, so I'm going to have to make paint masks for all these little bits and pieces, and it will help that they're quite chunky, actually. The tail, that's all right. It's not the worst, not the best I've ever seen, but they're okay. Generally speaking, the transparent parts are all right. As I say, you just need a bit of work to finesse them into the right shape, but otherwise they should be fine. Here's the decal sheet. As you can see, it's much the worse for age. The whites are very, very yellow. The carrier film's yellowed considerably. I mean, I could put these out in sunlight, in the window in the sunlight for, you know, a week or two and try and bleach out some of that, but it's so much easier just to get fresh markings now. The only markings that are different will be these ones here, but I'm sure we can find something like that for an aftermarket set. Interestingly, even in these days, there's no swastika for the tail. People will say, oh, back in the old days we used to get swastika. No, you don't. You didn't. This kit was released in, what, 1967? There are no swastikas there. You want them, if you want them for your kit, then you can get them in aftermarket. It's not the end of the world. There is an instruction sheet and it is fairly basic, although the winds of change are blowing through here because there's a description of the aircraft and then it's also in French and German, which is, you know, that wasn't really done in that age. And before, a few years before this, everything would just be in English. General instructions, again, in English, French and German. There are translations of the very basic icons used here. Special instructions here. If you've got a rear gun, which part you use is bombs, undercarriage retracted, use different parts and so on, which is quite nice. And you're also getting to a stage where instead of just using exploded diagrams, you're almost like getting a step-by-step. So make the cockpit like this. The cockpit then goes into the fuselage like this. The fuselage is assembled with its like this, and so on and so forth. This would have been done in like 2 exploded diagrams before. This is a bit more the regular exploded diagram versions here. And then the final fixings here. There's also, you'll notice, not a commentary. You have to do it as you go. And that's because, of course, you're in multiple languages. So everything has to be done by example. And then there's a colour scheme. It's green and dark green splinter camouflage on top. RLM pale blue on the underside. Yellow on the undersides of the wings. It's where the modern ideas of instructions were starting to come in with multiple languages and therefore no actual descriptive methodology of building the kit, which I kind of miss. There it is. The moulding's pretty much what you might expect from an old kit, although of course it was made using relatively fresh moulds. The transparencies seem to be okay, although there'll be a challenge to mask for painting, and the decals are faded, so I may as well replace them with a modern set. But overall, I think the effort would be worth it, as I quite enjoy working with this older plastic, and I do like the aeroplane. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, then please remember to let YouTube know by giving it the thumbs up, by subscribing, and by hitting the notification bell. Thanks so very much for watching today, and goodbye.